So I haven't done a YouTube video in a while, but I'd like to talk about fish back in the old day. Like I'm talking 85, 86, when I really fell in love with fish. So back in about 1986, maybe 87, I was just a young boy, 6 years old. And my neighbor just down the road, probably one of the most beautiful girls, at least when you're 6 years old, you know. She was a beautiful 7-year-old, curly blonde hair. She had a betta tank. It was the first time I ever seen a fish tank. All it was just a bowl, nothing. She had this fish 3 years, I think, at this point. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a year. But in my mind, it seemed like she had it forever. She acted like she had it forever. She had named it. It's just a red, long-fin betta, ordinary fish. But I had never seen anything like that before. A fish just living in a bowl in her bedroom. This little 7-year-old girl. She was amazing. Her name was Tiffany. She lived just down the road from me. My first crush. That's what started me on my fish tank journey. Back in 87, maybe even 86 at this point. I can't remember. It's been a long time. Since then, in my life, I've almost always had fish. I've had the most wide variety of fish. I've had red belly piranhas. I've had Oscars. I've had Jack Dempsey's. I've had tiger barbs. I've had Congo tetras. I've had neon tetras. I've had severums. I've had green terrors. I've had, tons of catfish. The most wide variety. And the thing is, back then, in the 80s, early 90s, we had no idea. I would go to a friend of mine's house, and these people were into the green, let's just say. And literally, this is 94, early times. And these people had, I want to say it was like a gallon, 2-gallon tank. And it had a 5-inch and a 6-inch Oscar that they kept alive in this gallon tank. And nowadays, people would just, oh my God, you have a Oscar in a gallon tank. But back then, nobody knew and they didn't care. They were, they didn't care. But these fish lived in that gallon tank for a very long time. And was it humane? No. Was it what we would think socially acceptable in 2026? Probably not. But at the time, when I would go over to their house as a younger lad, I would look at these fish and be in awe at how two giant fish, they're probably 6-7 inches each at this point, 3-4 years old, in this tank, and being well fed and having water changes once a week in a gallon tank or 2-gallon tank. Maybe it was a 5-gallon tank. In my mind, extremely small. And I'm talking not like a big tank, like a small tank. But anyway, how things have changed. Like talk more about the past. People don't remember what it was like when we had to go to the library and try to look up fish, and there was no information. There would be new fish species coming out constantly in the early 90s. There was zero real information. It wasn't until 96 or so when the internet really came along, when there was some information. But the fish tank world was completely different. Nobody will, I mean, unless you lived it, you wouldn't understand it. It was underground filters. And underground filters still to this day, used correctly, pretty good still, pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you could find it and you could make it work, it would probably, you'd be pretty successful using underground filter. But one thing I'm gonna say is, even today, damn near 40 years later, every now and then I think about Tiffany and her little beta and how my fish tank journey started. And there's a lot more to it. One day I'll get to tell all you guys once I hit this going. Anyway, good night, fish tank people.